If I don't have much money as a student and I'm only working part-time right now, how should I start investing and is it a good option for me?
That's a great question. Definitely not crypto or meme stocks. So let's start simple.
Hi, I'm Avery.
And I'm Trevor Dale, CEO of TK Dale Wealth.
And when people ask what to invest in right now, what do they mean?
Well, what they're really asking is, what's a safe place to start? So let's talk about timeless strategies, not stock tips. But keep in mind, this is for educational purposes only and not meant as individual advice. Always seek the help of a licensed professional prior to undertaking any of this information.
I'm a student and I have some money saved up, but what should I do with it and where should I start?
Well, if you're a student and you're saving, you're ahead of most people. So I tend to use ETFs or index funds, mutual funds. If I'm doing one of those, think of them kind of like, if you're not familiar with what they are, think of them kind of like a basket with a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables in it. For example, there may be Apple, you may have, NVIDIA, you may have IBM, all these different sort of companies that go into one basket and they're held within this product. And that's called an ETF or an exchange traded fund. And a mutual fund that is passive index fund can also be very similar to that. But what the difference is that they have all these different investments inside this one basket. If I were to choose something like that and I were starting, I would pick one that's very diversified, global, and I'm just getting my feet into the investing market. I would pick something that's very broad and not overly concentrated onto any one thing.
So instead of putting all my investments on one winning stock, I own part of many companies?
Exactly. So if you own one company and it goes down, your whole portfolio value goes down with that one stock. If you own an ETF or a mutual fund that holds a whole bunch of investments and one stock goes down, it doesn't drag everything down with it in itself. If you're holding an ETF, you can usually get very low cost ETFs. So meaning that management fees are lower and that's a drag on your returns. So you want to try and keep your costs low while maximizing your returns.
So how do I buy an ETF?
So we're talking to Canadian investors. I'm an Ontario, Canada licensed portfolio manager. Usually people can just walk into a bank and open up what's called a discount brokerage. It means it's a do-it-yourself account. If you're looking for help, of course, talk with somebody in a bank branch or somewhere else. People like Wealthsimple or Questrade are great places to start. Make it fairly simple. CI Direct is another one where they do it for you and they're buying a diversified ETF at relatively low cost. These are things that you can do. There's no need to check your investments every single day. Just the important part is the consistency of just saving over time.
What are some mistakes many beginners make and how should I avoid them?
Mistakes that beginners make is often they're chasing trends. They're watching Reddit to find out what other people are doing and they're watching crypto and meme stocks and things like that. You want to do something that's very solid and well reasoned. You're looking for rationale. You have to understand why. Not just because other people are doing it, but because there's a solid fundamental reason. One of those sayings that goes along with this is a quote by Warren Buffett where he says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful." Warren Buffett is a world-renowned investor, runs Berkshire Hathaway, and is one of the world's largest companies. There's a book on him called The Snowball, Warren Buffett and the Business of Life by Alice Schroeder. It is a fantastic read. In there, they also talk about some of the other books that you can start to expand your knowledge on and understand value investing. But in terms of mistakes that people make as beginners, high fees are another one. There are often ways to invest with lower fees. So you want to start looking for ways that are both easy to get into and low cost.
Even bank mutual funds?
Yeah, even bank mutual funds, they could be a great way to start. However, some of them are well over 2% in fees. And on a small dollar figure, that doesn't mean a lot in terms of a dollar amount. What you need to look for is how to keep your overall costs low and just as a strategy. So look at more of the passive index investing, even if you're doing a bank mutual fund. They may not push it because their sales compensation is lower, but that's called a conflict of interest, and always be aware of who's doing something and why they want you to do it. So just ask the questions, and there's nothing wrong with a 2% fee if that's suitable for you. But yes, go ahead and explore your different options and weigh them back and forth so that you become educated and you make that decision that's best for you.
What happens if I start investing and the market drops? What should I do then?
One of the most important things is your mindset and patience. If you're constantly panicking and you're getting in and out because you're worried about something, you're probably going to end up losing money in the long run. What you want to do is understand why. Educate yourself. There's lots of resources out there. Investing is like planting seeds, but it's going to take some time, and the market will go up and down. It's not so much about timing the market, it's about time in the market. What you want to do is keep contributing and adding on a regular basis. One of the things that I continually look for people to do is how much of your money that you make can you keep? And then out of the bigger amount that you keep, how can you grow that money? In the beginning, when you are growing your money, the returns have very little impact on your overall wealth, because $100 saved at a 10% rate of return is a $10 return on your money. If you have $100 saved this year, you make that 10% return, but then you put $100 in next year, you've doubled your money because you saved and kept your money. So making sure you have your spending in check, make sure that you're saving, and then now you're growing that money that you save.
So if I'm investing for the long term, I should stay calm and educate myself?
Exactly. Volatility isn't dangerous, it's just part of the ride.
And I have one last question. What account should I be using? TFSA, RRSP, FHSA?
Okay, so if you're 18 years and older and you're in Canada, a tax-free savings account is a great way to start. This is a tax-free savings account, TFSA. And what that allows you to do is to put money in. People often think of it as a separate from their checking account, so they're less likely to dip into it. Any returns that are made inside of that don't pay income taxes on that. So there are maximums that you can put in, but that's a great place to start.
So it's not just for saving?
No, definitely not just for saving. TFSAs are great for long-term investing. And I think they're best for students or beginners to start out in. It's a great place for them to start.
Okay, so what should a beginner do to start today?
The easiest way to get started is to open a TFSA and just get started funding it with like $100 or whatever you can afford. The main thing is start investing for one. And the second thing is make it a habit and keep investing.
And what's one thing to remember when you're behind or overwhelmed?
Don't worry, you're definitely not too late to invest. Most people don't even start investing until they're in their 30s or even 40s sometimes. So the earlier you can start, it is an amazing thing that you watch your money grow over time. It's just small amounts, and before you know it, you'll have a large amount of money invested. That's how you build wealth.
To learn more, you can download the book From Middle Class to Millionaire, grab the retirement guide, or try a free strategy call.
Just head over to tkdalewealth.com.